Hey, my name is Adir and I'm going to representing you the historical circumstances that lead Israel to develop the Iron Dome. Israel has been established in 1948 as the island of a Jewish democratic regime in a huge area of Arab nations across the Middle East. The Arab countries didn't acknowledge the new state of Israel because they saw Israel as an intruder to the local area. Since the conflict has started, Israel has known 7 wars and 2 intifadas. Until Lebanon War I, Israeli civilians weren't attacked by rockets. Then, the first rocket fell in Kiryat Shmona in 1980, and the Israeli leader still didn't realize how the rocket's threat will be one of the most significant threats in the Jewish country. The next rocket attack came from Iraq as a present from the tyrant Saddam Hussein at the time of the Gulf War. Although Israel wasn't a part of the war, the Iraqi tyrant saw Israel as a small remote state of the USA. When the new millennium has started, the rocket threat grew larger by the Hezbollah party that became much stronger thanks to the Iranian support of fundings, transportation and military supplies. IDF retreated from Lebanon in the year 2000 after 18 years of wars without any real strategic achievement and with great losses to both sides. In 2006, the War of Lebanon II has started due to Hezbollah kidnapping and murdering of 3 Israeli soldiers. In this war, Hezbollah rained a flood of rockets and missiles on Israel, the greatest bombing Israel had known since it was established. The next rocket threat came from another zone of the map, Gaza. Israel managed 3 operations with the Hamas organization in Gaza in the last few years. Oferet Yetzuka in 2009, Amud Anan in 2012, and Tzuk Eitan in 2014. In all death wars and operations, Israel could completely destroy these terrorist organizations, but it would then have to deal with the aftermath, which included a non-supporting world that could destroy the Israeli economy. The situation led the new necessity of creative solutions that would remove the rocket threat off the Israeli public.
Hi, my name is Matti, and I'm going to be talking about counter-rocket artillery mortar systems around the world. In response to the increasing amount of casualties caused by attacks using rockets, artillery, and mortars, the need to develop a system that will be able to detect the incoming threats and destroy them grew. Thus, CRAM systems were developed. To date, there are 5 operational CRAM systems around the world. Centurion, used by the US Army. It is a land-based version of the US Navy Phalanx defense system that is equipped with a 20mm gun. This system, used by the German Army, equipped with a 35mm gun. Porcupine, used by the Italian Army, normally consists of 4 firing units, each one equipped with a 20mm cannon. Draco, used by the Italian Army, equipped with a 76mm gun. The Draco can be installed on an 8x8 wheeled platform. Iron Dome, used by the IDF, the only CRAM system to use rockets, and the only dual mission system that provides an effective defense solution for CRAM as well as aircraft, helicopters, UAVs, and PGMs. Before CRAM systems were invented, Israel used other, less modern systems. One of them is the Patriot, called Yahalom by Israel, a surface-to-air system which was used for the first time during the first Gulf War. The first use wasn't really successful in countering rockets. During the Tzuk Eitan operation, the Patriot system managed to shoot down 2 UAVs sent by Hamas. Patriot batteries are still laid out around the country.
My name is Tal Peretz. The advantages of Iron Domes has effectively protected Israel from massive damage and casualty. Can handle multiple threats simultaneously and effectively. Effective against aircraft up to an altitude of 32,800 feet. The system was designed to be operated easily by an average female soldier. Give the Israel Defense Force more leeway to operate. The Iron Dome's impact as a serious and historical military change. The ability to protect Israel population center from rocket attacks remove one of the key factors that the military had always seen as a limitation on its operation. What the likelihood was of repairs. Iron Dome is just the beginning. While it focuses on smaller rockets with a relatively short end such as those from the Gaza Strip, Israel is installing other systems that are intended to stop large missiles fire from farther away.
The disadvantage derived from utilizing the Iron Dome. It saved Hamas from publicity destruction because of the success of the Iron Dome system to prevent multiple casualties. The world doesn't see the Hamas as he really is, a terrorist organization. The Iron Dome has been disastrous for Israel by saving the Hamas from destruction. It did so by preventing multiple casualties and extend destruction in Israel. No Israeli government could withstand the public pressure that this would have unleashed without being forced to react in a more intense approach. The Iron Dome system is an extremely expensive system itself, and each rocket is being fired at a high cost as well, and it raises the question of how Israel might cope economically.
The answer to the question of how will Israel cope economically is not an easy one to answer, but many measures are taken to reduce the economic damage that is caused by operating such an expensive and important system. One of the most effective measures that is taken is improving the software that the system runs on. As we know, the Iron Dome is an automatic system that can decide for itself, after considering the conditions that were defined, if to launch a rocket towards an incoming threat or not. The way it is done is by simply running the algorithm that checks the said conditions and returns the final decision if the imminent threat is real or not. By improving the algorithm, we can make the decisions more precise. For example, there are glitches from time to time in every system, but in this one particularly, a glitch means the loss of a rocket that is misfired. So, if the software is upgraded to deal with such glitches, less money will be spent due to mistakes. In addition, there are many more factors to take into account before firing a rocket that can undoubtedly economize the system's operation, and all of them are derived from the judgment of the algorithm. For example, if a rocket that is fired towards Israel is known to hit a barren area, there is no need to intercept it, because it will cause no casualties, and repairing the destruction will probably cost less than firing rockets to intercept each stray rocket. Factors are reweighted each day, and it is decided if they are to be implemented in the system, and with every improvement to the software functionality, the cost will undoubtedly reduce.